Greetings sewing friends, Deb here from Slap Happy Sewing. I came home tonight feeling terribly flat, read some of your comments and decided I just have to make a video because I want to talk to you all. How I wish we could all chat together. But yeah, I tell you what, I've had a little difficulty making friends since I've moved here, and I've lived here about 2 years, and I do think you kind of give me hope that there are people out there that I could bond with. I just probably need to try a bit harder to meet actual people in real life. But hey, I do really value my online relationship with you all. Okay, onward and upward. So what have I been making? Well, I have on a Colette Sorbetto. Now this is a free pattern, and it's a free pattern that I downloaded, I think, when I very first started sewing. Had one look at the pattern envelope and thought, no, that's not for me, because it's got a picture of a very beautiful young slender Asian girl on the front, and they've actually made it with it's got a kind of a tuck down the front, and of course you put a bust as big as mine with a tuck down the middle, and it's a big curved tuck. So I had passed it by, but when I was looking through my patterns, I realised that not only was there a version of it that was curvy, for a curvy fit, bigger sizes, with 3 lengths and sleeves. It's got a curvy fit, and I think, I'm not sure what size it goes up to. Let me just look, probably 26 or 28. And I was quite amazed to see the size range in there. So at the same time, I had been sorting out some of my fabrics and putting aside some that I thought possibly I should give back to the charity shop, including the one that I've got on. Don't like the colours very much, but I thought it would make a good muslin to test this Colette Sorbetto. Okay, so I did lengthen the pattern a bit, lowered the bust. I actually probably lowered it a little bit too much. And it looked kind of big, so I didn't make it with a full bust adjustment or anything. I just made it straight out of the pattern envelope, being quite prepared to just use this fabric for scraps if need be. But I think I did an 18 at the top and a 20, and then I graded out to a 22. The patterns, it was absolutely enormous. It swum on me. So what I did was, I'll show you in this one. I'll just take it off. Hang on a minute. So what I did was I made it, and if you look at the inside of it, I ended up having to take I had to take in the sides. I had to take a great big tuck out of the front. I don't know if you're able to see that. And to make it wearable, and also I had to take in a tuck in the back, and it sort of billowed out a lot around my pulled fabric in my back there. So I don't know if you can see this line, whoops, but there's a line there that goes right in. It's the curve of my back. So I decided what I would do would be, I put a seam up the back for my next version, and I would make it curved. I just left it as a tuck for that one, and I thought, well, actually it's fine for the house. I've worn it a few times actually. I don't like the colours of it very much, but it's fine for the house. So this one that I've got on is my second one. Now this one, I found I still had to take in, even though I did take a tuck out of the front in the pattern, I still had to take a little bit more in. I also found that it billowed out quite a bit. This one's got the pleat in that's part of the pattern. The first one I didn't bother with the pleat. And I found that, I suppose it's because of my big bust that it needed something to sort of say, oh, this isn't just a big blocky. So I did put a couple of darts down here. This one though, I don't know why, it's the fabric or something. It's quite big in the front. It possibly needs a little bit less across the shoulders in the front. And I think in the back, where I took that tuck out, I think when I put the seam up the back, I forgot to put the seam allowance in. So it's a little bit, probably needs a little bit more in the back. But to be honest, it is loose enough. It's quite wearable, and I have worn this. Now, I know it's a boring little top, but it goes well with a jacket for work, and you can sort of layer things on over it. I also found, I don't know what the fabric is, but maybe it's got a little bit of wool in it or something, because it's kind of warm. It's surprisingly warm for something that's just a loose blouse. And of course I can wear it with a vest underneath. I've also worn it with a polo neck underneath, and I've worn it with just a black long sleeve shirt underneath. Very nice and warm. So this one I would count as a moderate success because it is wearable and I have worn it. Though if I make it again, I'm going to be a little bit more careful to make sure the back and the front are right. I'm going to need to, I've kind of got sick of it at this point, but I really should give it one more go and get the pattern dead right now that I'm onto it. Because the trouble with wovens is because they don't stretch, you've got to leave enough room to be able to sit down and move around in them, move backwards and forwards. And especially this one, because I'm nearly always going to be wearing it in the winter with something under it. Oh, by the way, it didn't have a long sleeve. It had a short sleeve, but I just took the line of the short sleeve and took it down for the right length of my arm. So that was easy enough. Yeah, so I would say this one, I quite like the fabric and it's a moderate success and I have worn it. It's kind of it's a boring work item, but it's nice enough. So that's that one. So yeah, and then there's the saga of this make. This was, I don't think you could call it that now, it was the Elian Mac South Shore Romper. So I was excited because I had at least 5 meters of this brown jersey, what would you call it, knit fabric. It doesn't have the proper amount of stretch, but I kind of thought I'd get away with it. I did a full bust adjustment on the pattern, and I imagined myself that when I made it I would be able to waft around looking like a Bond girl in my I was going to make it, because it's winter, I was going to make it with long trousers, long sleeves, although you can make a shorts version as well. Anyway, best laid plans. I made the thing, went to put it on, had a heck of a job getting it on. Now, to be fair to Elian Mac, they did say you should make it with fabric that's got 50% stretch in both ways, and my fabric doesn't. Maybe it has 20 or 30%. But even with 50% stretch, to get a wrap top like that and to get it back over your shoulders with no fastening, that's a pretty big ask. And I don't know if you can notice, but you know, just taking it on and off a few times meant that I've stretched the bands out. I'm hoping that they will recover when I wash it. Anyway, finally, when I had finally got it on, I instantly thought, I don't know, I'm going to go to the toilet in this, you know, multiple times a day. Getting this thing on and off is going to be a big mission. Just at that moment, my husband came up the stairs and he said, oh, he said, I don't think that does anything for you. And he's a man who doesn't normally make the least comment about my clothes. Yeah, he said that he thought that the big legs on it made me look bigger. My legs look big. I must admit that I've done a full bust adjustment. I'd lengthened the bodice and I'd also lengthened the rise. So it wasn't that the rise was too short, but I really felt that it emphasised my tummy. Yeah, so I felt that it wasn't doing me any favours. And then, you know, I don't know if you get like this. I felt kind of hopeless about it. Hung it up over the back of the door for 24 hours, and then I finally decided, okay, I think I'm not going to wear this. So what I did was, let me see if I can show you. Excuse, as I say, these bands are a bit stretched out. I hope they'll get better. So what I did was actually machine it down. I've got trousers on underneath, and I just turned it into a dress. Fit wasn't too bad, except for, I think I'll put about ½ an inch more in the back next time. But to be honest, I don't know if I'll ever make a South Shore romper. I mean, I think I remember making the Mama Cora culottes and they looked awful on me and they really emphasised my tummy as well. So it's probably that it's not a style that really suits me. So basically I have wasted a fair bit of fabric. Hopefully this is a boring but hopefully wearable garment that can be used for layering if I can get these bands to go back the way they should do. Yeah, not exciting, but probably would look good with a jacket or a jumper or a top or something with it. And I do like layering things in the winter because I feel the cold a lot. So yeah, not really sure. It wasn't the best success. It certainly wasn't my dream garment that I was expecting, that I'd waft around in it and look like a Bond girl. Well, that dream never came true. I guess we just have to accept these things, don't we? Oh yeah, and the only other thing I've been doing, I made a whole pile of these last night. Now there's this woman on YouTube called Darlene Michaud. I'll put a link to her channel below, and she's doing this thing called Crumb quilting, whereby she's making kind of patchwork scraps, but they're random ones, and then she puts them all together. She cuts them smaller and smaller as she makes them and then puts them together, and I quite like the look of them, and I thought I particularly like the look of the little small ones. And she shows you how to go from making a big one and then just, you know, keep cutting it. It's kind of a fast way of doing random patchwork, as it might be. So I actually found that kind of, you know, my little frugal soul, I found that quite encouraging. So I made those last night, and I've got quite a few woven fabrics that I can use to do that. So yeah, I there's something about it that's quite nice and therapeutic. So have a look at her channel if you're interested in using up your scraps and you like that kind of random quilting look. Okay, so well, that's me. Those are my sewing adventures for the moment. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Please do, if you like my video, you can subscribe down there. Leave me a comment because I love talking to you all. Let me know what you're making and what you're thinking about and how life is going in your part of the world. Obviously, I live in New Zealand, so we don't actually have a COVID problem here as things stand. What we have is a border problem, and we do have quarantine issues, but I think so far we've managed to keep COVID out of our country, and it's working well. Its strategy's good, but that means we're all back to work and life is fairly back to normal. So, you know, the downside of it is I never was able to spend much time sewing, and I still can't. Oh well, I suppose got to be grateful for small mercies. I've still got a job, though hopefully one day I can retire, and so to my heart's content. I know some of you are retired, so in a way I do kind of envy you, but I guess my day will come. All right, so better say goodbye now and stop waffling on. Talk to you again soon. Bye.